Guess what? Guess what, India?
We found a new doctor for you. Yes! And we want you to meet him. Now, this doctor, who is from India, but practices, is quite famous, he practices in the UK, and he is going to be training in India, coming back and forth just for you, but we wanted you to meet him, so he flew from the UK to be here with us for the extravaganza, so that you guys can meet him. Would you like to meet him?
Are you happy to have a new doctor just for you?
All right, so let's bring out our new nutrition advisory board doctor.
How would you receive him? How would you receive him? Come on, guys. Let's show him some.
Please welcome Dr. Parag Singhal. Wow. Doctor, we have a couple questions for you. First of all, we're so delighted that you made the trip to come from the UK to be here in India with us. First question I have for you is, you have a very esteemed background. You're quite famous, I'm realizing now, having talked to you last day. But my first question is, can you tell us a little bit about your background so that people understand what you've done in your career?
Thank you. First of all, it's a pleasure and privilege to be here. And you're very kind. Two congratulations are in order before I explain myself. So first, to all of you to make Herbalife for India top performer in Herbalife. Secondly, the corporate team to launch this brilliant product led by Ajay. So two congratulations in order. So about myself. I'm a local boy. I'm from Delhi. I was trained in India. My schooling, medical college, postgraduate qualification, all done in India. I moved to UK in 1993. Those were the times when India had not experienced economic liberalization, if you would remember. I'll come back to my story in a minute, but it was a move more to seek higher qualification, more to seek some special skills to be able to come back to India and practice. That didn't happen. I happened to go to US for fellowship, and after studying different health systems, I chose to come back to United Kingdom to pursue. And that's where I entered higher specialty training in diabetes endocrinology. And my first encounter with something related to what we are discussing today was in 1998, when I started doing my research with Professor Roy Taylor. You would have heard of Professor Roy Taylor from Newcastle, who came out with this idea that type 2 diabetes can be reversed, can be cured, if you have 600 calories in diet. And the reason he came out with that was because we were the first ones in 1998, the paper was published in 2000, to show that how type 2 diabetes individuals behave when they eat. So just to explain this further, people who don't have diabetes, when they eat, their liver stops producing glucose. But people with type 2 diabetes continue to have glucose production from the liver. So it's a double whammy for people with diabetes. Not only what they're eating is adding on to their sugar, but their liver is churning out glucose. Now, just compare this with McDonald's shake. 100-gram shake would be massive calories. 100 gram of sugar, you're talking about one big shake. Your liver produces on a daily basis 450 grams of glucose every day. 450 grams of glucose. Imagine the glucose you're getting if you have type 2 diabetes from your liver. So we concluded that basically we need new treatments, and you would remember all the new treatments we are talking about, GLP-1, those injections which lead to reduction in weight, are based on that research. So that's how it happened. And that was the reason, and that's where I am now. So I'm practicing consultant in University Hospital Bristol for the last 25 years. That in a nutshell is my story.
Wow, impressive. Great. I have a question because I felt that I felt in a specific way when I met Herbalife. What did you feel when you heard about Herbalife? What was your impression about the company, about Herbalife?
I think when I heard about Herbalife, I was connecting it to the larger issue of India being diabetes capital of the world. And you presented a slide that 40% of obese people are in India. So clearly there is a big connection. And in India, we have got two problems. One is our genes are stacked against us. And secondly, our diet is very carbohydrate rich. So here is an opportunity to use protein, replace our meal with protein, Herbalife product, get healthy. So that's a connection I want to make and complete the journey.
Amazing. I have a third question for you, Dr. Parag. So, we've met a lot of doctors. We've recruited 56 experts around the world in the last 21 years. And we're so delighted that you're on board.
Thank you.
I think it's important that our distributors, our associates understand that when we bring a new doctor of your caliber onto the company, we don't want you to promote the product simply. That's not your job to promote and be a salesperson. That's my job because I work in the corporation. But what we do like to have you is explain the principles of nutrition, to explain the principles of health and wellness or diabetes, so that our associates understand. So what I thought is fascinating, many of our doctors, when they come on board, they don't know much about the products. But I've already learned that you've been using the products. Could you tell us, have you tried the shake?
Yes, I tried the shake for the first time yesterday, and I did my own combination. I took a combination of kulfi flavor versus mango flavor, and it was beautiful. The flavor was just outstanding. And this morning, I tried pure mango flavor. Once again, it's marvelous. And when it makes you convincing that this is the way to go.
I love it. And I would like to add before you ask your question, and I would love to hear a round of applause after I tell you what else he's been trying. He's been using the herbal aloe, he's been using the active fiber complex, the skin beauty booster, probiotics, and other products. This is a doctor who's doing his research. Thank you, doctor.
I don't know if you'd like to add something else, because we've been talking to you backstage, and I'm completely amazed having you on board. I believe you're the perfect fit for this growing company in India, which is Herbalife. So I don't know if you have something else to share with us.
If I may.
Yes, sure, please.
You talked about purpose of eating, you talked about purpose in eating, and I'm going to talk about purpose, your purpose. What should be our purpose? So let me talk about, I talk about my journey to UK. And that's not just about skills, that's about meeting different cultures, people of different backgrounds. So when I went to the United States, I had absolutely no understanding of black culture. And I studied books. I wanted to study how those people behave and how we can help integrate. So it develops your overall personality. So that's point number one. The point number two I talked about was the research, hepatic glucose output, and how important it is now to change our lifestyle. And I'll join all the dots together in a minute. My third moment where you get changed or you get inspired. If you remember a film called Three Idiots, do you remember the film?
Yeah.
So Three Idiots was produced by Raju Hirani or directed by Raju Hirani. A real genius and a legend. When I saw that movie, the two things struck me. First thing was, it is not about remembering the facts. It is about clinical reasoning. It is about critical thinking, which would enable you to apply that knowledge into practice. Because in one of the scenes, the professor was asking some definition of electricity or invention or something like that, and how one bright candidate answered the true definition, just repeated the definition. But look at Amir Khan, how he was depicted in that character, and how he translated the application of definition into practice. Worldwide, our education system is missing in one aspect, which is high order critical thinking. We need to start developing that skill. And I come back to Einstein's quote, education is not learning of facts. Education is learning your mind to think, and training your mind to think. Once you achieve that, life becomes simpler. And how that is important in the fourth, which is the final jigsaw puzzle. So when you start questioning, you start thinking about all the health systems in the world, not just India, all the health systems in the world, including United States, which is spending 17% of GDP towards health, are struggling, not only financially, but to provide quality. And one of the things which stands out in all the health systems is our unnecessary demand. And when I talk about unnecessary demand, I'm talking about obesity figures you put forward. Obesity is leading to diabetes. UK, for the first time, has crossed 5 million people with type 2 diabetes. The UK healthcare budget is around 150 billion pounds. And 10% of that healthcare budget is spent on diabetes and diabetes-related complications. And making the whole health service unsustainable. It's not possible. Because either you pay for your health, if the state is paying for the health, they will have to raise taxes. So eventually the healthcare becomes unaffordable, unsustainable. So if we all want to make healthcare sustainable, you are the agents of change. You are the agents of change via Herbalife to create health of the population. If we create health of the population, if we reduce the unnecessary demand, you will find you will leave a legacy, not only for your children, but for your friends and everybody else. So better future, better planet, and better world. That's your mission. Thank you.
Wow. Dr. Parag Singhal, thank you so much. Thank you, Herbalife India, for being the #1 country. We're going to wait here. We're going to bring our host back out, and then we're going to exit the stage, and we're going to see you guys tonight at the party. Who's going to be at the party? Thank you, Doctor.